Plains City Commission meeting. We are proud to have Mr. Joe Eden here to do our invocation. So if he would come up and start that, and if everybody will remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance after his prayer.
Before I do that, just let me, some of you may not know who I am. I went to elementary school right here, and I was sitting there when I got here looking at that building over there was there 60 years ago. We played out in the front yard, and Mr. Marsh Hurd was our principal. He was still on the floor smoking. If we kicked the ball across the street, he'd scream and holler at us not to go. And the first new car that I ever remember seeing was a 1959 Chevrolet that Mickey and Gordon had covered up with a cover. And we would, at recess, we would all run down there, our boys would, and try to peep under it, and Mickey would run us out. Get out of here, boy. So, I am a true blue Cross Plains person. And when Sherry called me, I was chaplain of my post VFW, post 2120, for 8 years. And for the last 3 years, I've been commander, which being commander ain't all it's built up to be. I'd rather be a chaplain. You can put your chaplain cap on and go to the VA hospital, and I swear, I believe you could go in the operating room. They would take me everywhere. And I tell people, when you get to feeling sorry for yourself, call me, and I'll take you up on the 4th floor at the VA hospital, where they don't have any arms or no legs, and they're all on wheelchairs, and you'll get to feeling better for yourself when we leave there. So that's a pretty good statement. Most people don't know what the VFW stands for. It stands for Veterans of Foreign Wars. And it used to be that if you was in the Coast Guard, you didn't qualify for the VFW. Now they're being shot at. They do qualify, some of them, for the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Anybody can join the American Legion. I guess a Boy Scout, I don't know. But you have to have been in a combat situation to be in the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And I have been shot at, and I've done shooting. And some I wasn't proud of, and some I was really proud of. So, as being 19 years old, now you think about, do you even know anybody that's 19 years old? Well, just imagine stripping a machine gun around their neck and putting a pack of Camel in your helmet at 19 years old. We couldn't even buy beer, but we were getting shot at. So that's just kind of how our government works. But I'm glad I did. I wouldn't take anything for it. I wouldn't give a dime to do it again. But I'm here tonight to do the invitation. And being an Army soldier and being a combat veteran, you can't do anything without a manual. We have a manual for everything, y'all. I got this right square out of the chaplain's manual. Talked about Memorial Day. Memorial Day, we honor the dead. We honor the ones who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Veterans Day in November, we honor everybody that's a veteran, or in the armed forces like this. Maybe they're serving overseas, maybe they're at Fort Campbell. I was going to tell you that I did go to elementary school here. I prayed for 8 years for it to burn. And when I got out of school in 1969, it's either November or December. I can't remember when it actually burnt down. But I went to school right here for 8 years, and it's in my blood. Cross Plains is in my blood. So when Sherry called me, I said, "Sure, I'll do it," because Cross Plains has been so great and good to Post 2120. We do meet in Greenbrier, but our heart is in Cross Plains. And we get ready to do our Buddy Poppy event this weekend. And it is amazing how the four-way stop down here and the four-way stop down at 2531W. We don't have to ask for donation. They pull up and they'll empty their ashtray out. Now, it may be washers and bolts and nuts and stuff like that. But the people of Cross Plains and Orlinda has been exceptionally good to us. So, let's bow our heads. Almighty God, Heavenly Father, in your hands are the living and the dead. We give you thanks for all these, our comrades, who have laid down their lives in the service for our country. May they rest in peace, and may light perpetual shine upon them. As we come together today, we also pay tribute to those who have served and those who are serving in our armed forces now. We are grateful for their dedication and commitment and the countless selfless acts they perform so they may continue to enjoy freedom that we have. We thank you for our great land, the wisdom of our founding fathers, and for those down through the years who fought the forces of evil and gave their lives to preserve the freedom that we enjoy. We are grateful for life, liberty, and for freedom to pursue happiness. As we begin this day, we will now have a moment of silence to remember those who gave their lives, those missing in action, those held as prisoners of war. We invoke your blessing, O God, upon the program and events that we have planned, and may each of us, as individuals and as a nation, continue to acknowledge you. In Jesus' name, we pray all of these things. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for your service.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to leave you now, and you can call on us anytime or anytime, and we'll do our best to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have the minutes from April the 16th, regular scheduled meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read over those? Are there any amendments or corrections to those minutes? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve the April the 16th meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. We also had a special called meeting on May the 11th, and has everyone had a chance to review those minutes? Any amendments or corrections to those minutes? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Can I get a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. So the financial report, from April, we have a general fund of $267,408 and a fire fund of $31,686. Our CDs are playground at $13,000, our general at $934,970, and our roads at $100,932. Holly, do you have anything on the financials we need to? No? Anybody have any questions about any of the financials for the April report? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes.
Well, I do have a question.
You do? Okay.
On the general fund checking, do we need to look at maybe moving some of that to a CD because it's a pretty high number, or do we have a big bill coming up?
So, Polly and I have been talking about this. We do have that big purchase that's coming up for the property up in Village Green. We'll probably like roll one, I guess is kind of what we talked about, and maybe, back over into another CD, but the rest of it we'll be putting, our plan is to put it in the LGIP, temporarily until we, make those payments out and see where we are.
And when he says roll it over, we got 2 CDs that are maturing this month, and they're like 105,000, 106,000 each. And so we'll probably put one of those in the LGIP and roll one over to another CD. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions? Okay. Looking for a motion to approve the financials for April.
Motion to approve.
I need a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. So the fire department had 97 calls, 39 of those were inside the city limits, 58 of those was outside, and 5 was a mutual aid. The police department had 36 calls, and 148 calls went through RC dispatch, and 5 calls were answered by Robertson County Sheriff's Office. Okay, building department, we had no permits this month, 3 inspections. Daniel, anything we need to know?
No, ma'am,
Okay. And, the Parks Department, Jeff, do you have an update there? I mean, we had the Bluegrass Festival this weekend, which was great.
Right.
Lots of people, lots of events. Nice weekend. Balls going on.
Right. And I've talked to Jim Ring. He, his plan is, he's tendered his resignation. He's asked for that to be June 30th. So I've already started writing a position description for the park and hope to have that, announced sometime in the next, week or 2.
So who's currently doing his responsibility?
He's still in, partly in that. Stan has been helping cover as well. But, Jimmy's been, taking and covering like some of the, reservations. He has been able to keep up with that.
Didn't Jimmy have an assistant, was it?
No.
Tobit wasn't, Andrew wasn't helping?
He's on the board.
He's just on the Parks
Oh,
and Rec board.
okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Marty's doing mowing, I think.
And,
Yeah, Josh.
He'll be his helping out. We're trying to narrow down on a public works, person. The several people that I've gone through with the applications, hasn't worked out for one reason or another. So we're still in search for that position as well.
Okay, so we have a couple of things, actually, looks like 4 things for a public hearing. So I'm going to open the public hearing. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. But is this for the public, I thought it was for the public hearing.
no, it's just public comment.
Public comments for the.
Yeah, I don't know if
Oh,
anybody
okay.
signed up.
I did not see it. Thank you. All right, Juanita Wick, if you'll come forward. I got it right, I was looking at the right thing.
I'm just, again, asking, you know, that I know food trucks, and there's a whole lot of things, that, need to be considered, I think, on food trucks that are outside of schools come out, on games come out, you know, and of course Marshall, you know, he would like to set up at least once a month for a couple of days on the weekend, and maybe later on set up, like the winter months, maybe set up twice a month on the weekend. And, of course, $60 a day, if he just does 2 days a month, that's like, $1,440 a year for him, you know, would cost for him to set up. I know that the biggest thing is the revenue, and he's on a full service truck. You know, people get barbecued and they're like, I want to go to the store and get my buns and get my beer or get my 2 liter, you know, and paper plates and we're gonna go sit out on the deck and have a good time, you know, and stuff. So they're coming to Cross Plains and they're buying in Cross Plains while they're here. And, but I just, this is my hometown, even though it's not really my hometown, but I have been here so long and since I was 18 and this is my hometown, you know, and I just want my son, he wants to carry on the tradition that we did, you know, and unfortunately he doesn't live here, and he can't help that, you know, but he just would like to provide a service for the people of his hometown and give his kids an experience of what he got by watching the people, you know, their kids grow up and visit with them and like he did. And so, but, I don't know what else to say, but I think there's a lot of other things that need to be considered besides just, you know, how do you do all this with all the other food trucks and stuff, you know? And I totally understand not wanting to have a bunch of food trucks in town. I understand that, but I do know that people kind of would like something different every once in a while, you know, I mean, you know, you know, we love the Mexican restaurant and a dog, he is all for, you know, Marshall coming up and setting up, so, but,
Thank you. Jerry, Shannon? Okay.
Very Irish. All right, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The first, I would like to take the time to thank you for your service to our community, to our city. I would not want to be in your seats right now in some ways. I'm not there yet in probably age and maturity wise. Second, I do want to say, as somebody who does eat a lot out here at either Terry's Market or the Mexican restaurant, they know my face well. I would like to have more of a variety of food, and I do like the barbecue, so I am supporting of that. Like at the Bluegrass Festival, it was nice to have multiple options that are here locally, and I also like to continue having those options that I can take my daughter to throughout the week or month. I would like to recommend doing like a lot of other cities do, and I know that we're a little bit of a different city, but doing an annual fee. I know it would need to be higher than like Springfield, for example. Springfield has annual fee. So I'm recommending like doing either 500 to 600 annually, or I know that there was talk last meeting of doing a daily of like 30. So I would recommend either one of those two. That's it. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your comments. We're going to open the public hearing for ordinance 2603, and it's to rezone 7128 Dogwood Lane from commercial 1 as shown in the city zoning map back to residential 1. Is there any discussion? Oh, this is public. You got me all confused over here with all this. Is there any public comment on ordinance 2603? If not, we will close the public hearing for ordinance 2603. And I will open the public hearing for ordinance 2604, and that's to rezone 7139 Dogwood Lane from commercial 1, as shown in the city zoning map, back to residential 1. Is there any public comment on ordinance 2604?
What property is that?
It is,
One belonged to Coco,
yes,
the Russells, and then one was Mr. Davis.
Okay.
And I don't know which one's which.
Mr. Davis.
Yeah, this is Mr. Davis.
okay, I will close the public hearing on ordinance 2604, and I will open the public hearing on ordinance 2605, and that's to update the city personnel policy. Is there any public comment on the personnel policy? If not, I will close the public hearing on ordinance 26-05. Ordinance 26-07 is the mobile truck vendor ordinance. I'll open the public hearing on that. Is there any public comment?
I have a comment. So if there's a food truck at the elementary school or the high school or at an event like Bluegrass Festival, will all of those people coming in across Plains have to pay the same fee no matter where they are across Plains?
Well, the ordinance has, you have,
If it passes,
have
Well, for,
for an event.
if it's coming in, and if it's in a, there'll be a fee, what we've structured, there'll be a fee on just somebody coming in, and then if there's an event that's taking place that is also part of the, officially observed by the city, then, what we've structured is for that fee to be half the price of what the full fee would be.
what will the vendors be required to provide to the city when they apply for an application?
They would be, they would need to have a certificate of insurance to provide to the city. They would need their, to let us know that they have a health certificate that's valid with the state. And, there'll be an application for the permit that you'll describe, what your manner of cooking will be, and, what your, that you'll be in an enclosed vehicle. And we may also, in the ordinance, there may be an inspection of that vehicle as well.
So if it's somebody setting up like baby cakes that just at the table, or for instance, cheesesteaks, I think that's his name, they usually just have like a table and they bring their food, but if they still have to follow those same guidelines,
So,
if they're not in a truck. I'm just curious because we have these vendors.
Right,
that
I
do this, and I
understand.
wanna know.
at this point, the ordinance only, addresses the mobile food trucks. We are talking about a vendor permit, but we just haven't got that far along in the process yet.
Thank you.
Any other public comments on that? Okay, if not, I'll close the public hearing for ordinance 26-07 on the mobile food vendors. So in old business, now we get to go over it again. The second reading on ordinance 26-03 to rezone 7128 Dogwood Lane from commercial to residential 1. Is there any discussion on that? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve that rezoning.
I'll make a motion to approve that rezoning.
Can I get a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, motion carries. On the second reading of ordinance 26-04 to rezone 7139 Dogwood Lane from commercial to residential 1. Is there any discussion or comments on that? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve that. Can I get a second? I'll second it. All in favor say aye. Aye. The second reading of ordinance 26-05 to update the city's personnel policy. Is there any discussion or comments on that? No. Okay. You look like you said motion. I was waiting for you to say something. No. Okay, can I get,
It's not even back on the chair.
I was looking for a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to pass.
Can I get a second? And all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, this is the second reading on ordinance 26-07, the mobile food vendor ordinance. Discussion on it.
Yeah, I just like,
Before we start, can I address something back to Randy? I want to tell you one other thing, just so you're aware. So I don't know. I want to make sure that I'm clear about something. There is an ordinance that exists on Cross Plains books right now that there is a $25 fee for a vendor. That has been something that hasn't been enforced, but I want to let you know that there is something in place that is already on the books, has been for many years. It's just that it hasn't been enforced. Okay.
I just got just a couple comments. I've been thinking about this since our last monthly meeting. I discussed it a little bit at our last meeting, and I just feel $60 a day is too high in my opinion. So, as it's currently written, I'm not in favor of passing this ordinance. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I appreciate the discussion. I just, looking around at some other cities, this is way too much, and that's just my opinion. I would love to hear everybody else.
I'll take full on that. I agree with everything that he just said. I did some homework. Well, let me stop myself first. I like the idea of having an ordinance in place because I like the idea of the health department having that letter, having the business letter, having all the things kind of in one central location. And so thank you for putting this ordinance together. But there are lots of things that I have a problem with. I looked at Orlando, who currently does not have a food truck ordinance. I looked at the city of White House, I looked at the city of Portland, and I looked at the city of Springfield. And we are way out of whack with what we're going to charge a food vendor to come across Plains. The city of Springfield charges $250. The city of Portland charges $250 plus a $100 application fee. And the city of White House charges $120. And I'm going to use Marshall as my example. Why would he come to Cross Plains and set up one time and pay $120 when he can go to White House and set up all year long for $120?
But you mean when you're saying one time, let's be clear for everybody.
Like in 1 month.
You're talking about two times.
2 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2 days.
Saturday
No.
or Friday and Saturday, whatever day, Saturday and Sunday, whatever day you set up, one weekend. So we're going to have to look at putting together some kind of annual permit fee before I can ever even get behind this. And we're going to have to look at some exemptions because, like, trash and treasures, food trucks are part of how we fundraise. The Bluegrass Festival, they charge for food trucks, and then the city's going to charge too. So, I mean, are they going to want to come? I mean, I want to look at some exemptions. I didn't see anywhere in there where it mentioned no alcohol. I think that needs to be added. We need hours of operation. I mean, there's lots of things that I'd like to see cleaned up before we move forward with it. So I'm not in favor of it as it's written now either.
Well, the fee is not a city manager. Those are placeholders. I can explain that last time. It is up to the commission to set your fee wherever you want to set your fee.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm more in favor of an annual fee, whatever number the commissioners decide that fee, rather than a daily fee.
The problem is we're a small staff, and to be able to do an annual, to go back and check to see, because like the city of Springfield, I think you get, is it 6 times? No more than 10. I'm not sure. You only get so many. You only get so many times in that annual fee.
That is correct.
Which you have to go back and verify how many times, you know, that vendor came up and set up on the state lot, of how many times they've been here. There's a lot more things to go back and check on those annual fees, and it's not like we have an abundance of personnel to go in and
Understood,
yeah.
but the workaround on that is every time that they want to set up, they just come and get a new application, and they've already paid their annual fee, just fill out another application. One of the other concerns that I have is sometimes everybody knows my wife works at the Farmers Bank. They have private events at the park where they do a family fun day. can bring food trucks to
Mhm.
feed all the families.
Right.
That's a private event. Is that exempt?
It is not. It is,
Well, see, that's
And
one that
see-
we need to consider for an exemption.
And see, that's something that I would think would need to be considered because, you know, they're taking all the risk, they're providing all this for their employees, for example.
but they are also, and to be honest, this is totally up to you all. I'm not, I'm just.
I'm just
devil's
on the call.
advocate over here. But, you know, you're going to the park and you're having that private event, you know, who's policing that event, who's making sure that, you know, that they're, that truck there is following, you know, has a health, you know, license in place, who is, you know, what type of, cooking, how are they cooking? Are they cooking with gas? Are they cooking on open flame? You know, is this something that, you know, the safety regulations and stuff are in place for that? It's, you know, also, if they food poison somebody, they're on city property, or, you know, if something catches on fire and, you know, somebody gets hurt and the grease, you know, splashes on somebody, there is nothing in place for them to provide any insurance to the city on that private event to keep the city from being liable in that sense.
Well, then my question or my statement to that would be, could they not still go through the application process and the fee be waived?
They could, yeah. I mean, I guess that is, if that's what you
The
want.
fee would be the exemption. It's not the applying,
Mhm.
it's the waiving of the fee.
But I guess, so you're talking about entities coming into the city of Cross Plains that do not have a business license, and you're not putting anything in place, and we're just waiving the fee every time for that somebody wants to have an event. I mean, and that's fine, if that's what you
But
want.
he's talking about a private event.
I know, but they're coming in, you know, we require every business here in town to have a business license, but if they're coming in on the private events, are you saying you don't want them to pay anything whatsoever?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And maybe, and that's fine.
Mhm. And that's what they do in White House, Portland, and Springfield.
Well, my take on this is, how do you, then you're gonna go down here to the brick and mortar building and tell them the same thing, that you're not gonna charge them no fees?
I don't charge them, the city doesn't charge them a fee every time they are open.
They pay a business tax, but they also pay revenue to the city
Mhm.
daily. Every day they open, they pay a revenue to the city. So, but all food trucks will be exempt from a revenue based off daily sales.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, we're talking about the exemption side of it. What would be
Well, I'm talking about
exempt?
the whole thing. Y'all talking about reducing
Well-
the fees, but we get no retail money from them food trucks coming here if you don't charge a fee. And $60 for the amount of money they drove wouldn't be nowhere near what they'd pay if they had a brick and mortar building here.
I hear what you're saying, but if they're not here at all because they load up and go to White House because they can go over there for $120, we make zero. There's zero revenue because then they're not gonna stop at the dollar store or Piggly Wiggly and pick up their buns, their 2-liter Coke, and their bag of chips.
Well, where are you gonna set them if you let them all come in?
Well, who are all of them? I only know of one right now.
I'm just asking where you gonna put them for the liability. And
They would
No
probably
retail.
be on private property. Because we don't have a place in the city to set food trucks.
Well, we have the city park.
Mhm.
I mean,
But are we gonna designate an area just for food trucks to come in during the day?
well, I mean, they come in during the ball games, they come in during the events, and there's a lot of vendors that come down there and serve food.
But if we did an exempt event, like we talked about last time, we would have to go through a list of events that take place and decide who would be an exempt event, like the Bluegrass Festival,
Mhm.
or like Trash and Treasure.
That's right, yeah.
We would establish who would be exempt.
I think most of them vendors like Springfield, they all join the chamber, on top of that.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, they do. They usually a member of the chamber before they can be in White House and Springfield. they're a member of the chamber also, based off of.
Does the city require that?
Not too necessarily, I'm just telling you what I know, like, if the chamber, and anything the chamber represents in Springfield, or Upshur County Chamber, you've got to be a member to be representative, like a vendor or any other kind of vendor, whether it's flowers or whatever. So there's a lot of little things that keep adding to it, like if our chamber wanted the vendors to come, they got to be a member of the chamber. But you don't do that.
No, they don't. We're not a chamber of commerce, so we're not supported by the city of Cross Plains. We're a nonprofit. So when we have events, we try to use people that's local or that is a member, but I don't even know that we have anyone that's a food truck vendor that's a member of the Cross Plains Community Chamber. I don't think we do.
Well, it's up to you all, however you want, what you want in it, what you want written, or to scrap the idea altogether.
Yeah.
It was brought to me so they can put this together.
And I appreciate that,
That's
and
what
I
did.
think you've done an excellent job, and there's just a few things that I would like to see added. I would like to come to some sort of an agreement on the cost, whether we do it as, an annual fee or a daily fee. I just think there's more discussion. Now, we can go through the motion and we can vote it up or down tonight, or, my recommendation is that we would table this. And I'll make that motion to table if that's what we feel like we need to do, to go back and have another session where we can sit down and get together and discuss.
So, I can go back and rewrite this in any way that you want it written, but I do need to know, or unless we're y'all need guidance to go back to say, hey, this is what the commission is gonna approve. Can you write it like this? And I certainly will. I just need to know what that is, what that fee looks like and what it is. I think it is going to be difficult to take and do an annual. I can certainly put that in there. You have no problem, because there are other places that do have annual fees, but they also have a much larger staff than the city of Cross Plains does. But I will put it in there. If that's what you want me to do, I will certainly write it up that way.
Well, you were mentioning about our small staff. Doesn't an annual fee make it easier on our staff, because they only have to look at it one time and then,
No,
like,
I don't think it does, because it's something that we would need to have something where every time that vendor came into town, they come in, they buy an annual, an annual fee, annual permit. First off, I need to know how many times does that include? Other cities put a cap on that of what that annual.
Yeah, Springfield does.
Yes. So you would need to let me know what that looks like for you. And then, but, going in and policing that to know how many times that vendor has come into town, that will be the part that I think will be difficult to do. And also to go back and possibly need to re-inspect. So if we sell the permit January 1st, and is the same thing in place in that food truck as far as safety and their health certificate, does that look the same in November or some other month?
That's what I said. We could print off a nice piece of paper that says Cross Plains City Permit, for 2026, and they keep it in their food truck when they're in Cross Plains. And
well, it's required to be put on the front of the truck.
Yeah, and make it visible. But they can also bring that, and I'm just talking off the cuff here, just talking aloud here. But they could also bring that certificate in and fill out another application and say, here's my annual certificate, and here's my updated insurance, and my updated annual health inspection.
So, I guess what I'm hearing is, under this annual permit, they're still coming to get a permit every time they come to town.
If we wanna do it that way, that's fine, but they've already paid the fee.
Right.
So they won't be paying any.
Right, there would be no additional fee
Correct.
each time they come back, up to whatever that limit is, but they're coming in to get that every time they want to come. So if they wanna come on Saturday and Sunday, needs to be somebody here by Friday to come pick up their permits for the weekend.
Sure.
So does Saturday and Sunday count as one event or two?
Well, with the annual fee, I mean,
It doesn't matter.
it really doesn't.
Well, yeah,
It doesn't.
we're restricting it to something, it's not unlimited.
And she comes every, anybody comes every weekend.
Yeah.
You know, they can burn their annual up in one month.
Sure, I mean, we've gotta set those guidelines. If we decide, for example, it's 6 or 8 or 10 visits a year, do we want one day count as one visit? Probably so, right?
Yeah.
So
I'll throw out here, and again, we can do it. So Bluegrass charges $50 for their event, which I guess technically it's a 2-day event.
Mhm.
And then the Heritage Commission, is charging by the space. If a food vendor, if it's a 10 by 10, they're charging $100, or if it's 10 by 20, they're charging $200. And that's a 1-day event, right?
No, it's Tuesday,
Mhm.
or Tuesday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
$50.
Okay. I just didn't know what the.
yeah, but those are special events.
Sure,
right?
sure.
I mean, it's not.
But that would be, they're gonna be paying this.
And that's the organizations that are,
And that's a major
Demanding.
fundraiser,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's a fundraiser that they're in control of, right?
That's why I would think on the city side of it, we would need to exempt the fee. I'm not opposed to them coming up here and still getting a permit and still providing all the information that we want.
Mhm.
I think we need to waive the fee.
For those two, just those two,
Well, no, there may be more. I mean, that's just two right off that you named.
right?
Do you have vendors at the block party?
Yes, and we
Okay.
don't charge, we've never charged food trucks to come and set up at our events, the chamber hasn't. So we have the Freedom Fest 250 concert coming up, we're not
Yeah.
charging any of the food trucks. I did let them all know the city may be implementing an ordinance to have a fee, and then the Halloween block party. But we've never charged food trucks to come to an event.
And see, the 4th of July event, we're not charging for our food trucks.
Yeah, so, look, I'm all for this. I think we still have a little bit of work ahead of us. And I would like to get us all together, whether that's a work session or whatever, if that's what it takes, but to sit down and just kind of collectively, I know not all of us are going to agree 100% of the time, whatever those numbers might be, but I just personally, I can't vote for this, in favor of this tonight at $60 a day.
Mhm.
I'm just.
Well, I mean, if you let me know now, if you know now what you want, I can have this rewritten by our next meeting. But that's up to you.
Yeah, it just sounds like there's a few other things though that we need to decide on if we're gonna include, like, Farmers Bank. They're bringing their own food trucks in here, they're responsible for those. How are we gonna approach that? If someone at Dookies,
Well,
event
I mean,
center down here,
right now, we're ignoring, and one of the reasons why we were putting this, but I mean, on the books, way prior to us, I mean, there was a $25 fee.
understood,
Okay,
yeah, I understood, but we've not been collecting that.
no, we have not, and that's what, are we gonna keep? Until this is written, I don't know if this could go on another, few months, 6 months, but I don't know. do we want to go back and what's on the books now, or are we saying no, that we want to just nullify that right now? I'm in the middle of writing the municipal code book, and that's part of it, and I need to have that in there as part of our code book. We just don't need to, I guess what I'm saying is string this out too long, because we do have something on the book that we're not currently enforcing. I just need direction. I mean, again, I'll do whatever you all want done.
I mean, are we wanting to take time tonight? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, or
to
we
iron
will
out?
set this in the next few weeks, or is this something we want to push off a few months?
Well, I don't want to take months. I mean, we got Memorial Day weekend. I don't know, next week is probably not good because of the holiday. I mean, the week after, can we get together just sometime before our next meeting so that, I mean, it shouldn't take long, but if we want to take the next 30 minutes to discuss this and hash it out here, I just don't think that this is the place for it.
Okay, that's fine.
That's my opinion, but if that's what we want to do, we can. Or if you want to,
I mean, I think 3 plus 2 or something.
Let him look at his schedule and we'll do a work session.
We have 2 meetings set up for next week already, on Tuesday and Thursday for meetings here, that evening.
I anticipate, again, I mean, I can't see us going past 30, 45 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, if everybody can jot down, be working on some things and thoughts, some examples, examples may not be, some scenarios, what ifs, however we want to call it, but, so would you like me to make a motion to table this to our next meeting?
Yes, just make a motion.
So I make a motion that on the, mobile food vendor ordinance, 2607, that we table it, to next month's meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor of tabling it until next month's meeting, say aye. Aye. Okay. All right, so we will get back to that on the next reading.
And thank you, Jeff.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I appreciate,
I'm here for you guys, whatever you
I
want.
appreciate what you've, done. I didn't know that we had something on the books and that we've not been enforcing it.
That's correct.
So we need to make this happen.
Sure.
Okay, in new business, we have the first reading of ordinance 2608, which is the 26-27 fiscal year budget. And, I know we've had a work session and kind of gone over this. Is there any comments or discussion that's come up that you would like answers to, or Jeff or Holly can address?
I know when we did our work session, we talked about the, is it the BTA? The consulting.
The study,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Did you ever figure out what line item, where we were gonna plug that in and how we were gonna make that happen?
It was, I put it under contractual services.
You did? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I put salary study on page
Page 3.
Page 2. Oh, yeah, page 2 of, yeah. Okay. If you look towards the top under contractual services, it's listed there.
Okay, yeah.
And again, this is one of these that we have until the second reading to make changes to,
Yes.
if we need to.
So I'll go ahead and give you a heads up. So we have set some money aside for the septic to be done. I don't think that we're anywhere in the ballpark. I had somebody come here this week and look at the septic system here. It is in very poor shape, and it will require cutting up the floors and reinstalling new pipe throughout into all the restrooms and in the kitchen, so it's probably gonna be significantly more.
You got a number? Did they give you a number?
It could be up to $100,000. I'm still waiting on the quotes to come in. I should have that in the next few days, but it's a pretty major job. That will include replacing all the toilets and sinks, completely rerunning every pipe to every.
So are they gonna vent?
It'll be vented,
Venting,
yeah.
issue too?
Right.
But is the septic tank and the field lines
The
all?
septic tank, at this point, does look like that it is okay. When we open it up, the water level was proper, but it's the pipe, between the restroom and the septic tank is collapsing.
So, we have one quote,
But no, the quote, I should have it in the next day or so.
We'll have to bid it out.
Yeah, it'll have to be in.
okay.
Yeah.
And that is to remove all existing
They'll
and
replace,
replace.
everything there, because they're cast iron pipes. They ran a camera through the lines, and the lines are collapsing in.
Say that, what'd you say?
I said, we might be a real addition on cheaper.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
It's a whole new bathroom.
Build a bathroom cheaper than anything.
Well, it's the floors, I mean, the floors of concrete, they'll have to be soft cut, and we're not actually gonna pull the old pipe out, we're gonna replace with new pipe going to the septic tank. But, I'm hoping it's maybe not that much, but I wanna go ahead and give you the sticker shock of
yeah,
the
Worst case
guesstimate of what it was.
I mean, can we get 4 tons or something instead?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Holly. So, is there, and I'm just thinking, you guys probably do, you could probably answer this. Is there another way to reroute new lines, do something different without busting up the floor?
Yeah, it just depends on where it takes it.
I mean, your toilets are, they're sitting on that tile, I mean, they're sitting on the floor right now, and you've got to get in the concrete to get up under it, and so they'll be trenching basically a new trench, or we'll actually have to close down City Hall for about three days-ish or something like that, while they take and cut all this up and dig a new trench to run new lines.
Yeah.
I don't know how, where it takes it.
It's sitting right outside the door.
Between the buildings here?
Yeah, it's between the buildings. So if you go out and Tommy, correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you go out the kitchen door, it's pretty much right there.
Go out and it's about 7 foot from the door.
Yeah.
And the EMS also is hooked to that septic tank.
And apparently, according to the guy, and this, I mean, we will still get bids for sure on this. The money amount dictates that we do, so we will be getting bids. But from the plumber that we had here, he's a trusted source. He's not the one going to do it. He's going to have to sub it out. And he says there's only one game around that will take and come in and cut these floors and to put that in.
Are there grants available?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
So until I get, I mean, don't hit the panic button just yet, but I wanted to go ahead and give you a heads up tonight that number may have to change before our final reading.
and where is that number on this? Do we have anything on here for it?
Yeah, we put in a holder.
So, yeah, under, on that white page,
Okay,
let's see, under building repair and maintenance, this is next page, page 3, on the back. Under building and grounds maintenance, right under there it says the maintenance buildings. We added $25,000 for that repair. So whatever, we had 42, let's see, 42 minus 25. What is that, 17,000? We had 17,000 there for building maintenance. Which is about where we're gonna end up this year. So we just added 25, so
should we go ahead and increase it?
Well, I think it'd be best to wait on the bid, but, I mean, we'll still have time before the final reading.
Okay.
Any other questions, discussions? If not, I'm looking for, a motion to approve the 26-27 fiscal year budget for the first reading.
I'll make that motion,
Second.
first reading.
All right, you wanna do, roll call or, sounds good?
Yeah. Jimbo,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Marlene.
Yes.
I'm glad you don't know those.
Okay, so we have, resolution 2603, which is, Tommy would like to put the 2003 Chevrolet pickup truck, surplus property, for sale. And that's the old pickup truck, correct, your old truck. Is there any discussion on that? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve resolution 2603.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye. All right, so we just need to wish the birthday boy a happy birthday again. You want us to sing to you, or
No,
are you good?
we'll
Okay,
pass.
all right.
I've heard y'all before.
Yeah, I don't think you want me to sing it off, but,
Yes, yeah, so, first of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Hey, really do appreciate your hard work. Appreciate the support you're doing and all that you're doing for the city. All of you, I hope you all and everyone in attendance has a great Memorial Day weekend and that you enjoy it with family and friends.
okay, so I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All right, and a second? All right, meeting adjourned.
Yes.